This is G-Man, My World 67. Well, it's good to see you all back again. I want you to say welcome back to this segment of My World 67. Well, nothing really exciting going on, although it's kind of exciting to me. Got this in the mail yesterday. Opened the box last night. I actually did a previous video, but the video didn't come out right. So we're doing another video. Instead of a total unboxing, we're going to show it already out of the box. This is a Marx Disney Mickey Mouse Meteor engine. I don't know whether you can see that very good or not. Oh, Donald Duck and his three nephews on that side, Pluto's on the top. And if I can get a good view in it, you can see the Marx insignia. Let me try to. The Marx and the Disney Productions. And there's Mickey, Minnie, and the girls there. I've always wanted one of these sets. Ever since I was a kid, when they first came out, I remember first seeing them in a, I believe it was either a Sears or a Montgomery Ward commercial. Trying to get you a better view. There we go. Mickey. And he's in almost perfect condition. Overall, this engine is very good condition. It's got a couple of real small dings that you can't even hardly see. It has some rub wear on both sides of the engine. And the corners, both sides. The cap. Little bit missing paint right in that area. And of course, the rub wear here. Now, I don't know why these rub here. They put the bow in them here to represent an air pump, I think, or a cylinder. And I don't know whether the paint just rubbed off of them over a period of years or there was always rubbing up against something on the sides, but both sides are like that. But as you can see overall, in general, this is really a pretty good engine. And as I said, I've always wanted one of these ever since I was a kid. But they have always been, I felt, somewhere out of my reach. And they're still pretty pricey if you get one in immaculate condition. Now, I was blessed, as you might say, to be able to get this one at a reasonable price. I contacted the guy and on it, and he was willing to negotiate a little bit. And so actually he had it at a reduced price, and he gave me a a little more off of that, which made it more affordable for me. And I was happy with it. And I'm sure, I hope at least he was too. And anytime you can find one of these engines in this condition, even in this condition, for less than $85 and $100, if you're interested in these, buy it. And if you're lucky enough, or you're fortunate enough, because I really don't believe in luck, but if you're fortunate enough to find a whole set or a partial set in that price range, in decent condition, buy it. And some of you may have watched Long John Silver's channel, Long John Silver Rails. And my friend John bought one of these a few months ago. And he got the whole set. They were fortunate enough. We had talked on the phone about it and through email. And they had bought it, and then he did the video on it. And it was really a nice set for its age. And I think he bought that set at a decent price. Now, I already have cars because over the years, when I've found cars that were in need of repair, I bought a couple, 2 or 3 cars. And my cars are, of course, high. They're challenged. Let's just put it that way. The illustrations on them, the lithography on them, are just in bad shape in places. And it's my thought. I kind of made up a process here several years ago. It's kind of an overlay that I do with paint to whereas I can restore some of the lithography if I can redo the characters. And so I'm going to, now that I've got an engine finally, is my plan within, I don't know whether I get it done by Christmas or not because I have so many other little projects and I want to work on the layout, which I have not been able to do yet. But I'm planning on getting out there today and do some work in the shop and get the finish getting the layout cleaned up, cleaned off, and get a little more work done to it. Get situated so we can run trains at least for Christmas this year. I had planned to build my own Christmas train, and I hadn't gotten that done yet either. With this new job, I just haven't had a lot of time for anything, as I've said before. And so it is what it is. But we're going to do as much as we can in this one day that I have to try to get some things done. And I just really am pleased with this. Like I said, this is a childhood fulfillment here for me in the area of trains. And now I can start building my consist. I think I still need, or I want one more car, but I'm pleased with it. I'm happy with it. Like I said, it doesn't have a lot of dents. It doesn't have a lot of scratching. Just has some rub wear. And we're going to attempt today also to try to make some of these things disappear as close to we can in matching the existing paint. Now, one last thing I want to say about this engine. When I contacted the guy on this engine, and he told me about it, his thing was that this lever was stuck right here, and that the engine was frozen and wouldn't move. And what you didn't get to see was in the other video that I had to scrap, these wheels were frozen and they would not move. And finally, I worked them and I worked them until I got them to go forward, but they wouldn't go backwards. So I sprayed some my lubricating oil down inside it real good. Got it down in all the working parts. This is a wind-up motor, as you can see, and kept working the wheels back and forth, and of course they broke loose, but it wouldn't wind up. And so I sprayed some more down in around the mechanism and around the wind-up, and kept working with that with a trusty Phillips screwdriver. And by the way, you can take these small Phillips screwdrivers that are just big enough to fit into the wind-up key, and if you're careful, they fit tight enough that they will not strip that out, because a lot of these are threaded and some of them are a hex fit, and the key is a hex fit. And so if you're not careful, you damage the threads. But this one, we took this and we got this loose. Still a little stiff. I don't know whether you can see that or not. My finger was in the way. It's still a little stiff from going all the way back. But overall, it goes forward now and goes back. And let me set this camera down a moment. Get it up a little higher. And I can take it, and it does wind up. Now I'm not going to wind it too tight, but I've had fun winding it and unwinding it half the night last night. And hence, therefore, it runs. Now, I don't know whether I'm going to leave the wind-up motor in it yet or not, or take the wind-up motor out. I want to keep it pretty much original, just touch it up, and I'll probably shoot some clear on it. As to the motor, I'll probably put an electric Marx motor in it, but I'll keep this motor since it's good. Because I've worked on the wind-up motors. It's not one of my favorite things to work on. Usually they fly apart on me. I have parts, springs everywhere. I think the last one I took apart, the springs went uncoiled, and a couple of the gears fell off. So it's not one of my favorite things, and it's a big deal to me to try to rewind the coil for these and get everything right. But I know there's probably some other guys that have taken them and they've put electric motors in them and ran them, and it makes a nice set. It really does. And that's more of my interest. But I do like the originality of having the wind-up motor. So we'll see. Because that wind-up motor is just really moves. I don't know what it'd be like when it's pulling 3 or 4 cars. But we'll see. We'll see. because I really like, as I said before, the idea of the electric motor really appeals to me more than the wind up. And I can always put the wind up back in it. And who knows, I might find another one, an older, junker one someday. I've been looking for 40, 50 years to find one that I could afford. And one finally showed up. So maybe now is the time. I mean, maybe I'll find another one in this good a shape or less condition, and I can fix it up and put the wind-up motor in it, or put an electric motor in it and put the wind-up motor back in this. Who knows? But for now, that's where we're at. I just wanted to share that with you. It's just a documentation video, just to share that with my friends so that you can see what I am doing, what did come in right now, to let you know that we're still in operation here. We're still loving those trains. That's never going to change, and just not having the time to do it. But I'm going to try to pump out another video this weekend also, either one with the finished product on this engine and show you those cars that I have, or I'll do a video on one of the other projects that I have been wanting to start or have started and not been able to do anything with, including maybe the layout, to show you any progress that I've done or made on that. So, having said all of that, if you enjoy operating and running and working on your trains as much as I do mine, then you should have happy rails. I want to give a shout out to all my friends and all my subscribers. After the first of the year, I'm going to do a subscription run and offer a prize to like the 250th or 300th subscriber. Lost some subscribers this year because of various reasons, the hurricanes, the pandemic, and not being very active, I guess, on the channel myself. And so for a few months, off and on. And I appreciate that. But I also want to do something for you guys who've stayed with me over the years. So, that's all for now. Again, happy rails.